Hola, I'm Riza. Oof, this visual gag only makes sense in the Japanese version. I always dreamed of being a YouTuber and having my videos in multiple languages. So if you didn't know by now, I have 2 channels. It has the same name as this one, but it's in Japanese, and all the videos are in Japanese. It's almost like I know how to speak Japanese. Kinda whack. Immediately, you all think I'm a weeb, which is true. I'm a big weeb, but that's not why I learned Japanese. It all started around 5 or 6 years ago, when I found a book on learning Japanese in my house. My parents met in Japan and can speak Japanese, so they have many books and learning tools at our house, but I never showed them I had an interest in Japanese. When I was little, the superpower I most wanted was to understand every language, because I wanted to be able to talk and connect with as many people as possible. But as I continued to grow, I threw away that dream of being able to learn a lot of languages, because I believed it would be impossible for me to do so. This came from my low self-esteem and lack of English skills. My thought process was, if I couldn't learn one language, I'll never be able to learn another. So I didn't. We had Spanish lessons in elementary school, but I never really paid attention. And I only remember hola and como te llamas, which I'm probably not even pronouncing correctly. I believe I started learning Japanese on my own, simply out of boredom, and not having anything to do all day. I never thought I would be able to understand it. I never thought I would ever go to Japan. I would ask myself why I got up every morning and went to a quiet place and just practiced Japanese. And I lied to myself, stating that my reason was to watch anime with no subs, like every weeb response. But I remember realizing months later that I almost never watched subbed anime, because I couldn't read English that fast. I didn't have a reason for learning Japanese when I started, other than I thought it could help my brain. I remember about a year into self-studying Japanese, I actually spoke Japanese in my dreams, automatically, and I was so overjoyed that my brain started to process Japanese even when I was sleeping. My favorite anime, Hunter x Hunter, or Hunter x Hunter, was actually a huge turning point for me because I had slowly started to watch more subbed anime as I started to learn Japanese, and I had no choice but to watch Hunter x Hunter in sub because there wasn't a dub out at the time. Every episode brought me such excitement at the fact I could understand at least a couple lines each time, and Hunter x Hunter even taught me a lot of new vocabulary. In my sophomore year of high school, around 2 years after I started learning Japanese, I joined an actual Japanese class, and it was so fun. I'm gonna take Japanese 4 with the same people in my first year of college. I now want to learn other languages, and have made some attempts. I know some Gaelic from being in a Gaelic singing choir for a couple years, but not that much. I know very little Korean from listening to BTS and watching K-dramas with my sister. I tried to learn some Indonesian a while back because I had an Indonesian friend. I also really wanted to learn Tagalog and Ilonggo, which are Filipino languages. I know a few words and phrases, but can't really speak it. Tagalog is the main language of the Philippines, and Ilonggo is the language they speak where my dad is from. Spanish is on my list to learn, but I haven't really had the motivation. Learning Japanese has been a major part of my life. I'm so glad I started one day, even though I didn't have a reason. I felt so calm every day after waking up and practicing Japanese. It gave me something to look forward to every day, when I had nothing else to do. I never thought I would ever speak Japanese to someone, or even tell anyone I was learning. I started learning Japanese for me, and that made it stress-free. It kept me going, and gave me something to think about every day. I'm grateful that I randomly stumbled across a Japanese book, and that led me to here, where I'm a person who has hope for the future and confidence in myself, that I can achieve my dreams. Thank you for listening to my story on how I learned Japanese. See you next time, and again, thank you!